Hey, what's up everybody? GoofyHayden here with another GTA video. Here today we're going to be discussing the top 10 most useful vehicles, particularly for grinding in GTA. And this is more focused on single player, solo, private lobbies, things like that. I mean, you can use these for PvP or, full public lobbies, but these are, in my opinion, more focused for, sometimes you're playing by yourself. I mean, it doesn't really matter though. So we're going to get on right into it with number 10. Number 10, we have the Nagasaki Shotaro. The Shotaro is more commonly known as the Tron bike. It is a very beautiful bike. It can glow very bright, as you can see. The bike is very fast. It's probably one of the, if not the fastest bike in the game. I mean, the Death bike is a very good competitor, but it has the shield, which can be shot. But the Shotaro is very quick. It's very agile. And you can earn the trade price if you do the deadline missions, I believe. But honestly, I would just if you need a bike or you really want a super fast bike that's not an Oppressor or an Oppressor Mark II, I would highly recommend you get the Shotaro motorcycle. Number 9, we have the Kinjali. The Kinjali tank is the big brother, if you will, to the Rhino tank, which was originally released in the game. Now, the Kinjali is a much more powerful and much stronger version. It has the main Gauss cannon, if you upgrade it to that, of course. It has a second passenger seat machine gun, which is very powerful. It's very good for clearing out ground NPCs or players, things like that. And in the back seat, you have 2 optional passenger seat grenade launchers, which are not the best, but they're there if you really want them. They're there just to maybe clear out a couple groups of NPCs following you if you're doing a mission or something, I don't know. Now, the great use for the Kinjali is for contact missions or or situations where you need to clear out groups of enemies and obviously not be blown up. And you probably don't want to use it against a real player because they'll just spam RPGs at you. And typically NPCs don't, of course. So that's why I highly recommend the Kinjali for contact missions and high group situations. Number 8, we have the Cargobob. Now, the Cargobob does come in 2 different versions, the Cargobob and the Cargobob Jet Sim version. Now, those versions are practically identical, but I believe the Jet Sim is a little slightly more expensive, but just buy the typical Cargobob if you want. You can respray both if you have as a personal vehicle inside your hangar, of course. Now, the Cargobob is known, its big main feature is to pick up vehicles, of course, and this is extremely useful for missions such as import-export, where you can just go and pick up the car, bring it back to your warehouse, and get minimal damage fees. And the same thing for delivery. Whenever you deliver the vehicle, it is very cheap. But typically, if you have the Cargobob ready outside when you start the mission, you can sometimes even deliver the mission. You can deliver the mission, or deliver the car, and bring it to the garage with 0 damage and 0 fees. So if you do import-export, I highly recommend you need the Cargobob. 7, we have the Akula. Now, the Akula attack helicopter, or stealth helicopter, is most commonly used and known for its stealth ability, which does not let you use weapons in it, but it makes you invisible from the radar. So people, if they were to pause or see you in the minimap, they can't see you if you're in stealth mode, which is very good. It also even masks you from if you have cargo or things like that. It'll make you or anybody in the vehicle, it's blip gone. So even if you have cargo or whatever it is, a bounty, you'll be completely invisible from the radar. Now, you are still, if somebody's, let's say, in the orbital cannon camera, they can still see your location, but that's very, very odd. But so if you do cargo like CEO crates in public lobbies, then you definitely have the Akula to keep you off the radar. It is very good. It's very stealthy. It's actually very agile too. I believe it is the most agile helicopter in the game, at least for the size. So I highly recommend the Akula. Number 6, we have the Hydra. Now, everybody knows the Hydra from back in the day, getting griefed over and over again by people in Hydras. Now, the Hydra, it's gained its reputation because it is a very good plane, given its fact that it has a very powerful cannon similar to the P996 laser, but it also has the ability for hovering in VTOL mode. Now, this plane is very good, especially if you need to clear out groups of NPCs, or you need to blow up lots of vehicles, or fly far and do lots of damage for missions such as Headhunter, or missions where you need to clear lots of things. It's very quick, very agile, or not. It's very good. I highly recommend the Hydra. Number 5, we have the Buzzard. Now the Buzzard is a classic, been in the game since day one. Everyone knows about the Buzzards. Everyone's used the Buzzard. The Buzzard is wonderful. It's a relatively cheap helicopter. It's one that often goes on sale. So if you don't have it, I would recommend waiting for it to go on sale. It's very good if you're in a CEO. You can just open the menu and spawn it right by you. It's very, very quick. It's a very agile helicopter, very fast, very good for what you need. For a starter helicopter or starting with something relatively cheap, it's a necessary thing to have. It's especially good even if you're higher levels. If you're let's say your Oppressor gets blown up or your car gets blown up, you have to usually wait for a cooldown to either call Morris, Mutual, and get a new car and deliver it. You could just call your Buzzard, spawn it right in front of you, get back to where you need to go, and you can work on it as you're going there. So the Buzzard is a very handy backup if you're later in the game. So that's why the Buzzard is very important for everybody you have. Number 4 is the Avenger. Now the Avenger is not typically useful in day-to-day usage. It's more sometimes used for in combat because it's very powerful. Its cannon is very powerful, and you have multiple of them. You can have multiple people in the back using the cannons to kill ground enemies, players, whatever you need to be. Now it can also hover, and you could go up to the top of the map and hover if you want to trick people trying to figure out where you're at on the map. Also, it has a VTOL mode similar to the Tula or the Hydra, where you can go helicopter mode, plane mode. And in the back, you can have the vehicle cargo or the workshop, where you can work on your weaponized vehicles and customize them, as well as it has the weapon workbench, where you can customize your weapons, and some weapons have Mark II variants you can use. So the Avenger is very great. I prefer it over the Mobile Operations Center. So if you don't have an Avenger or a center, I would highly recommend you go for the Avenger if it's on sale. Number 3, we have the Night Shark. Now the Night Shark is one I would, if you play in public lobbies all the time, this one is a 100% must-have. Now, as of recording and then as of uploading this video, it is currently on sale. If you're watching this right now, I would highly recommend you go out and buy it if you don't already own it, because it can survive numerous rockets, and it has armor plating if you choose to get that on, but it doesn't let you throw sticky bombs or things out the window. The Night Shark is very quick, is very agile, it's very fast. It can ram cars out of the way if you need to. If you do not have the Night Shark and you play in public lobbies, you need to buy that now. Number 2, we have the Terabyte. Now typically the Terabyte is not driven, it's usually just spawned and you get right inside of it. But this vehicle is a must-have 100% for grinders, for its ability to source CEO crates, source import-export cars, steal supplies for your bunker, start client jobs, and numerous other things you can do with it. It saves you so much time having to go into your office, go through the animations, walk through your computer. You don't have to do none of that. You can just spawn it and go there. It also has a few other features, which is you can have a weapon workbench, which lets you customize your weapons and upgrade them to Mark II. So it's same as the one in the Avenger. It also has the Oppressor Mark II workshop, which lets you customize and edit your Oppressor Mark II. It also comes with a closet if you need the closet. Very important. You can change your clothing, even though you already can. It also comes with the drone station, which lets you operate drones out of it. Now be careful, because if somebody knows you're in a drone, because it has a limited range, they can use an up and atomizer or knock your. Another feature the Terabyte has is the missile turret. Now the missile turret is very, very terrible. I would recommend never using this whatsoever. If you really want an anti-aircraft thing, use a Chernobog. But the missile turret allows you to shoot down or try to shoot at things. It does actually allow you to lock onto players and shoot players with it, which the Chernobog does not. So if you really want to do that, try that. And the last feature the Terabyte has, which is the player scanner, which is not very useful, but if you want to scan people, it's there. And the first honorable mention is the RC Bandito. Now the RC Bandito I would only really recommend if you play in public lobbies and you get into a lot of PvP situations. The RC Bandito is very good because it allows you to get out of PvP situations. Now a warning, and recently it has been changed that if a player blows up your RC Bandito, it counts as a kill towards you and you die. as it used to not do that. But if you are in, let's say you're in the city and you're being chased by a griefer and he's trying to kill you, you can get into it, and they're in your back. Then he's about to get you. You can just open your inventory, spawn the RC Bandito, and drive away. Typically you drive it into the griefer and blow him up, and then you could just get way out of there because it'll spawn you right where your Bandito blew up. You can just get it. You steal a car and get out of there or something. So if you get into a lot of PvP situations, the RC Bandito is a requirement. The final honorable mention is the Weaponized Tampa. Now the Tampa, it has a minigun on it, rear mortars, and not lock-on missiles. Now it is great if you play single player missions such as contact missions, or you do client jobs or VIP work where you need to clear out groups of enemies, but you're not fighting players, because that can just get blown up with one missile, I believe. The Tampa has the miniguns on it are the big feature, the main feature. The miniguns are very powerful, they're very quick, they can shred through NPCs very easy. The not heat-seeking missiles on the front are not the best, but if you need to blow up a car or something, just be warned, you will often blow your car up. Be very careful with them. And the rear mortars on the back are not very good, but if you know how to, if you practice with them and get good, you can blow up cop cars or players chasing behind you. The Weaponized Tampa is a very decent car if you need it for those certain situations. And then the number one spot, everyone knows it, the Oppressor Mark II. Love it or hate it, it's the most influential and most important vehicle in GTA today. Between the griefers using it to kill people, the grinders using it to get around the map faster, or just the typical player that just wants to use it just to use it. The Oppressor Mark II is undeniably useful for doing missions the fastest way. You know, you say you're in your Terabyte and you start a client job, walk over to your Oppressor, get in, it's already a full health, full finsoles, full everything, you're on your way. You blow up a couple enemies, grab the item you need, take it to wherever you need. It's very simple. If you're fighting a player, someone's griefing you, on an Oppressor Mark II, spawn your Oppressor Mark II and you fight back. You both have the best vehicle in the game for PvP effectively. Now, if you're using it to grief, you're not very good at the game, because it's just fire a missile when you win. But the Oppressor Mark II, everybody knows and loves it, of course. If you don't have an Oppressor Mark II, you should definitely get one. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. This was my top 10 most useful vehicles for grinding in GTA Online. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more or have a suggestion, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.